Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm just looking to figure out one thing here. Okay. All right. Down then. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
You're a little low.
Okay. All
No.
right. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I was like, we get to figure out the things. All right. Welcome, welcome to the fall equinox. There's so much going on here with just the energy flying around and all of the things. So we're going to get to dive into that a little bit. But before we do, if you have a candle, I think it's a great time to light your candle if you haven't already. As I've said before, candles hold space, so I love it. So we can go ahead and light our candle together and just setting an intention for easy clearing and easy release today for what is no longer serving and releasing with harmony in order to plant seeds for the new things coming in. So let's just do that first. And then if you have incense or Palo Santo or sage, you can light that on your candle. And we're just going to wave that in an infinity sign or a figure eight, which I always love doing this, to help bring us back to neutrality. So just kind of helping to clear the energy in the space that you're in, and then just sort of bringing it to that spot of neutrality, because that is where we are at, literally, between the lightness and the dark today, or in this portal. So ah, just allow that and just kind of allow the day to sort of clear from you and just kind of bring your energy centered and grounded in you now. And then you can set that aside. Okay. And the first thing I want to talk about is just like what the equinox is, right? So the equinox, the fall equinox is officially tomorrow, September 22nd. And I love fall in general, but I love fall just because it's the time for letting go. Like the natural cycles of the earth, right? Just allow us to let go. Like the petals drop from the flowers, the trees release the leaves. There's just a cycle of the energy just like wants to call us back inward. It recedes from the outside and goes more interior. And so on days like the equinox, it's where the sun is sort of like crossing over the celestial equator, and there's equality between darkness and light, right? Between day and night. And there's just whenever there's sort of the meeting of duality in these ways, it's such a potent time to seed whatever it is that we want to call forward. So it's this transition time, and it's strongly influenced by our intentions, but also just the natural cycle of the world, right? And so the sun tomorrow is going into the sign of Libra, which is all about, Libra's all about, she's the scales, right? She's all about balance, relationships, harmony, and justice, and moving through those things with grace and beauty. So we get to ask ourselves, like, where in our life, where are we, like with relationships, where where can I find more harmony in the things that I am putting my time and energy into? Or is there, is there more truth that I need to acknowledge within myself, like that darkness sort of coming up within myself to acknowledge and to harmonize with more grace, with as much grace as I can, basically. So there's this sort of like collective, or there's this personal shift within ourselves, within this like sun moving into Libra energy about like balancing things. But there's also a solar eclipse happening. So it's like there's just multiple layers on layers of things energetically happening right now. And so with the solar eclipse, and I just want to preface this by like, I'm not an astrologer by any means, but I do pay attention to like what the larger, what's happening sort of celestially, because it does impact us. It impacts us personally, but it also impacts us collectively. And like, we're in spicy times right now. So, we can apply these things to ourselves personally, but we see them collectively sort of bubble up through the surface, right? Because, like, we're all a mirror for each other. And so, with the solar eclipse that's happening today, the solar eclipse is in Virgo. And eclipses in general are about like revealing what might be hidden, seeing things with a little bit more clarity, and just like clear, 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 right? And so this solar eclipse in Virgo is naturally sort of amplifying this energy of releasing and letting go. Thank goodness, because there's lots of stuff we need to like lighten before we hit the end of the year. So, this eclipse in particular is about letting go in a deeper way, like in a soulful way, and allowing us to let go of the things that are really weighing down our soul, right? And one of those things is allowing sort of like the adult the things that we like continually like try to adult and control our lives with, like allowing those things to soften, allowing them to let go a little bit so that our inner child can come play with us. This is like a theme I've been seeing with a lot of like my personal clients and like my acupuncture patients. It's like your little girl or little boy, um, your inner child is like, I want to be part of like what you're doing in your now, because our inner child is really another aspect of our soul. It's like the freer aspect of us, right? And so if you think about yourself of how you were as a little girl or a little boy, and like what did she enjoy? Like she probably had no problem like having big dreams. She probably had, she probably didn't like being told what to do. Like that was me. That was my kid, me as a little girl. But like, what was she just like completely unafraid of trying on, and like completely just being like in the things that like are really like nourishing to her now and like feeding her now and the things that feel good and, the creativity and all of those things, all of those beautiful characteristics of you as a child, as a, in your purest sense, that is wanting to like come and play right now too. So like kind of releasing this the heavier things of like adulting and allowing the soul aspect of your inner child to be a little bit more integrated with you. And so what does that look like really? Right? And so a little bit of it is about releasing perfectionism, releasing shame, releasing self-criticism, releasing judgment of self, but also of all the others, releasing the need to control like every little detail about your day or like about the things, because sometimes we just get so like, you got to control the thing to death. And so sometimes it's like, okay, there are times to be like in that, and there are times to not be in that. And so when your soul is expanding and when you're ascending and when you're allowing more of your light into your body, there is this calling of like integrating your younger self, integrating your inner child again. And so we're like learning how to release that, right? So those are some of the things: releasing the self-criticism, the self-judgment, releasing patterns that are harmful to your health, is a big one. And then also releasing just the routines or the mindsets, I want to say, that like block your mental growth, like your perspective and the way that you see things and the way that you navigate things, because there's room for more here too. So the purging is going to happen either way. And so somebody I know says like you can allow the things to release like easily. You can let them go and do it voluntarily and with like intuition and like full knowingness, or you can be dragged. And like nobody likes being dragged. Like we are all just like, no, I don't want to do the things that way. So we want to know ourselves enough to be like, okay, so this is shifting for me. All right, what do I need to do? Right? What are the things that I need to sit with? And one of them is like practice your self-care like it is like one of your like top three priorities in your day, because that's going to make this transition a little easier. And then we also want to be really cognizant of using our discernment. And I talk about this a lot because it's wild out there, right? And there's so much illusion and distortion, and not everything that is being presented to us is like real or for you, basically, or in your truth. And so we have to use our discernment and use our intuition enough to know if those things are for us or not, because not everything's for you, and that's okay. But this is where like trusting your intuition comes in, and trusting your discernment from here, from your heart, from your third eye, and like your connection to source energy and the higher aspects of yourself. Because if we're not using our discernment, it's easily to be manipulated, whether it's emotionally, energetically. And I'm all about having sovereignty and being grounded in yourself. And so when we go through these transitions where there's a lot of releasing and bringing things in, it's like, okay, you have to be grounded in yourself. And so we want to trust the process as much as we can and not overthink it. But we want to have our self-care practices, and so that we come back to being grounded in ourselves, so that whatever is happening out here, it's like, okay, we can observe it, but not all that, we don't have to absorb it all the time, if that makes sense. So that's what's happening with some of the cosmos. Um, but wait, there's more. I wanted to mention Pluto and Aquarius. So, like I said, I'm not an astrologer, but this is something that's a very important transit that is affecting all of us in a very big way. And so Pluto's energy is all about metamorphosis, evolution, transformation. And it's about what's hiding below the surface and the things that need to like pop through into our awareness or um, into our consciousness, so that then we can decide what we want to do with it. Do we want to keep, is this coming with us, or am I leaving this behind? And so Pluto is like resurrecting these like power dynamics and these shadow patterns and all of this like unhealed trauma. And so it's really about this inner journey that we get to decide of like, okay, thank you for revealing this to me. What do I want to do with it? And so it's not only happening personally, it's happening on a collective level right now. And I saw this paragraph that had like the perfect little like snapshot of kind of like what this means. And so I just wanted to read that to you guys. So it says, in Aquarius, Pluto exposes what is unjust, what is outdated, what must evolve collectively and personally, while Aquarius looks to the highest reality and the highest possibilities and the highest timelines. Pluto unearths the shadows and the unconscious things that interrupt or stop our expansion. So there's these two energies that are kind of like vying for, they're just in balance. They're hanging in balance, right? And so while Aquarius wants liberation, Pluto is illuminating all those spaces where we aren't liberated, where we aren't sovereign. So it's this really interesting dynamic of things coming up to be like, oh, it's the shits, like it's the gross stuff and like the things that we push down and our shadow aspects. And not that the shadow is bad, the shadow is actually great, but like it's all here to sort of teach us and reinform us about how do I collectively call and be the fullness of who I am in the shedding of the like older versions of you that you've outgrown, and in this way that like the higher heart harmonics are calling you forward. So that's just a lot. So if you feel crazy right now, basically it's not your fault. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of moving parts to this transformation through this portal that we're in right now, because there's just a lot of energies on the planet. There are 8 billion of us. That's a lot of energy, especially if you're an empath. And then there's the cosmic things that we're sort of like that are being kind of like also buffered and mirrored in our own lives and in our own like auric and energetic fields. So you're not crazy. And the last time, I was just telling my husband about this, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was in 1778. So there was a lot going on around that time. Like 1776, America declared its independence. And then we had the American Revolution, we had the French Revolution, and we had the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. So we are circling, so this is the same, we are in that same energies where things are just popping and changing right now, but we're in the like higher harmonic of it. We've done the full circle and we're in this next layer of like evolution. So that energy of change and transformation is here. And it involves a lot of um, the other quote that was in this paragraph was that this energy really supports a shift in the way the power is wielded. So that pertains to our personal power, how we are empowered in our life, but also how power is wielded like on a larger stage, right? And what is being encouraged and the energy is fostering like more communication, more humanitarianism, more community, and more technology, which I'm like, well, here we are. Like there's so much more technology, like AI is everywhere. And the community aspects and the humanitarianism, like we're seeing like people do like brilliant and wonderful things on this planet. So, there's a lot happening right now. All that to say. So, this time, this equinox, this solar eclipse, this Pluto and Aquarius, this makes for a really ripe environment for releasing deeply, number one, and then letting go of anything that is not in your truth and anything that is not in your integrity. So, we got work to do. There's so much going on. And so it's really beautiful to be able to see and to hold the light and the darkness and be able to help them inform us at the same time, because that really creates like a rounded person, right? And so we get to honor what gets to fall away in order to make room for these new cycles and for our soul to rise even higher. So that's why we're here today. We're going to do the things. So, all right. So we're going to do, so that was just the opening statement. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was really important. And we're going to do a guided meditation, and then we're going to do a little fire ceremony just to kind of help support these energies move through us with a little bit more of that ease and harmony, and intention, because that plays a big role in this. So we're going to do a guided meditation for clearing the spirit of our mind, emotions, and body. So I welcome you to, get comfy, get cozy wherever you are. You can lay down, you can sit down, you can recline, whatever is going to make you the most comfortable. And I'm going to see if I can turn my music back on. Oh, we're getting the thunder for confirmation here. I love it. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm going to turn my music up a little bit. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, so let's begin. Just kind of settling ourselves. Close your eyes. And I invite you to put your hands over your heart or on your lap, wherever's comfortable for you. And take a nice inhale breath in, just filling that lower abdomen, and exhaling, just relaxing even further, letting the day just be behind you. Inhaling in again, holding the air just at the top for just a second, and then releasing. And then one last time in, and exhaling, just giving permission for fear, control, or any heaviness to begin to loosen and moving that energy out of your field. So I want you to bring your awareness to your mind. And so we're going to work with the spirit of your mind. And as the thoughts arise, which they do because our minds are busy, that's okay. But I want you to watch what thoughts arise, like clouds. And each of these thoughts that comes up, whether it's a old belief, a looping story, a judgment about yourself or others, notice which thoughts feel stale or small or constricting. And just notice them and let them move by like clouds in a sky. And now I want you to picture just inhaling clarity and seeing a golden wind moving through your mind, blowing away the old scrolls of programming, allowing this golden wind to move away any beliefs like you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you have to earn love, you can't change. Any of these old programming, these old beliefs, allow them to exhale out of your mouth or out of your nose. And just visualize watching these stories turn to ash. And just take in my words when I say, Spirit of my mind, you are divine intelligence. You are clarity, creativity, and light. You are not this noise. You are an eternal sky. And I give you permission to release every voice in your head that is not truth. You are dismissing the spirit of doubt. You are dismissing the spirit of fear. You are dismissing the spirit of confusion. And all of those fears, you're just sending them to the light and bringing them into the love of source energy. Take another nice inhale in and exhale. Now move awareness to the spirit of your emotions and feel what is alive. Feel what the emotions are with you today, whether it's joy, shame, anger, sadness, grief. Just let that emotion rise. Let it flow. And just say, I acknowledge emotions are sacred messengers. And as you inhale, breathe in compassion and acceptance. And as you exhale, With your next exhales, release constriction, old grief, old shame, any heavy or hidden resentments. And allow them to be lifted and carried by the angelic realm into the higher realms. And know that the spirit of your emotions are meant to flow like water. Meant to flow and not be a dam of pain or of guilt or of shame or of anger or of any of those things. And giving yourself permission now to release every entity of guilt, every burden of sorrow, every tie to old stories that made you betray yourself. You are love, you are beauty, and you are allowed to feel free. And now shifting to your body, bring awareness to your body, this temple of light that your soul chose to inhabit. And gently scan yourself from your crown to your toes, noticing just any heaviness, tightness, fatigue. And just breathing into those spaces. Visualize radiant fire moving through the muscles, moving through your bones, moving through all the systems of your body, penetrating the cells. Just feel that light lighting you up from the inside. And with each exhale, just soften and release a little more. Allowing old traumas stored in the shoulders to release. Any heaviness in the heart, giving it permission to release. Any stagnation in the belly, giving that permission to release. And in your mind, repeat after me. Spirit of my body, you are strong, sacred, and holy. You are not meant to carry unworthiness. You are not meant to carry density or fatigue. I am now taking every false spirit that clings here, spirit of stagnation, spirit of illness, spirit of self-punishment, taking you into the light and into the love of source energy. Take a nice inhale. Now see your mind, emotions, and body gathered into one sphere of golden light. And all you have released, all old stories, old burdens, old pains, pools into this light. And from the center, a flame rises. And this is the eternal fire of source energy, God, which is soft and merciful. And I want you to offer everything to this flame that you're releasing. Relationship dynamics, ancestral programs, underworld spirits of fear and control, scarcity mindset, lack mindset, worthiness wounds. Watch them dissolve, purified and transformed in this fire back into love. Now inhale and exhale. Inhale renewal. Exhale freedom. Inhale your divine essence. Exhale any residue. And see yourself spacious, shining, and whole. Well done. That concludes the meditation. And I invite you to, if you've got a journal or something, if there's a couple things you need to write down, that whatever might have come up, or things that you want to note to release, I invite you to jot it down. I'm just going to give you a minute or two. Just to record if anything came through. And if there's anything that you want to anchor in, as far as like small intention that you want to carry on from here that aligns with where you want to grow. So I just did a lot of clearing, so you might have had a little like ding aha moment about like, oh yeah, this is something that I also want to call in. So I'm just gonna give you a minute to do that. If you don't need to do that or you're ready, we're going to do our fire ceremony for release and renewal. So I love fire. I am a triple fire. I'm an Aries sun and a Leo rising and a Leo moon. So I'm a feisty one. And fire is my jam. So any questions, or does anybody want to share anything before we move on? You don't have to, but sometimes people have that like, ugh. Okay. All right. So let's bring our candle front and center. And you can put it on a table or on something in front of you, or you can hold it, whatever you want to do. And I want you to also get your fire safe bowl. We're gonna burn some things. And get your bowl nearby. Yeah, okay. All right, so before we begin the fire ceremony, I just want to take a moment to honor the fire before we even begin, because fire is such an ancient, as the rain starts outside here, I love it. Fire is such a great way to alchemize things. It's a transformational energy, and it's alive, and it has a consciousness, and there's a spirit to fire. And so we just want to acknowledge that before we move in before we start the ceremony. So you can repeat after me and look at your fire, look at your flame, and say, "Sacred fire, thank you for being the alchemist. Thank you for being the purifier. And thank you for being the transformer. And thank you for holding me in this ceremony." Okay, so I just want you to imagine looking at your flame, inhaling strength from this fire, whatever that looks like to you. Inhaling clarity because it's illuminating. And I want you to inhale courage from this flame as well. And so put that off to the side, put your fire down. So if you haven't written thing which you are ready to release, just take paper. You can and jot that down and trust what comes. If you haven't thought about it, don't worry about it. There are plenty of things to release, and there are always layers of things to release. So you can write down what, if there's something that you want to release today, this week, before the end of September, or it can be just like a bigger general release. Like, I am not enough. It can just be something like that, a heavy emotion, a limiting mindset, a repeating pattern, a toxic relationship or a toxic tie, or a body, something that's going on with your body. So just be honest. So this is your offering to the flame. And it doesn't have to be long, a paragraph. It can just be like a couple words or an idea. And I want you to add something to it. So once you wrote your thing down, I want you to add a couple words to it, underneath it, around it, wherever it fits. I want you to add the words, I release this with love. So I actually want you to write this down on the paper. I release this with love. I'm going to do the same thing. And then I honor what it taught me. Write that down. I honor what it taught me. And then lastly, I free myself now. And mine's just all over the place. Like, it's just chicken scratch, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're not getting graded on this art project. So this should have those three, the thing that you're releasing. I release this with love. I honor what it taught me. And I feel, oh, all right, it's a party. So your paper may burn quickly, your paper may burn slowly. It doesn't matter. We're going to sit with this. And I want you guys to all do this safely, okay? No catching hair on fire or things. But regardless of how it burns, there's a couple things that we're going to just say over the next couple minutes while this is happening. And if you need to like relight your paper or relight your candle during this session, that's totally fine. So bring your paper to the flame. As it ignites, declare, by the power of the sacred fire, I release what no longer aligns. I thank it, I bless it, and I return it to the light. It is transformed in love. It is transformed in the light of source flame. And just kind of watch it burn. I have to relight mine. See the smoke rise. Imagine this energy just alchemically transforming. And this is energetically unlocking these things from your mind, from your body, from your emotions, and just allowing cords to dissolve. Having to relight mine. We're almost there. But this allows shadows to turn to light and for things to change form energetically. So once your paper is fully burned, do one more. Okay, got nice ash. So just when your paper is fully burned, you can place your hand over your heart and speak aloud, or you can repeat this in your mind. Sacred fire, fill me with what is true, with clarity, with peace, with renewal, with divine love. Burn away the density and activate the gold. And breathe in, keeping your eyes closed. Breathe in as if you're breathing in the fire, as if you're breathing in the light of that flame. And imagine it entering into your nose, going into your lungs in a very alchemical way, and entering into your bloodstream and your energy field. And your cells are just drinking in the alchemical fire and energy of this flame, of this fire. And with each inhale and exhale, you become brighter. You're becoming even more shiny. You're becoming and embodying even more of your true self, more of your higher self. And you're activating all of these pathways, systems, and intelligences in your body and throughout your chakra pillar. Just feel that moving through your body, feeling that the heart beating, pumping this activated blood throughout all of your systems, throughout all of your muscles. And feel where once there was heaviness before, or density, where that lived once before. Now invite in the energies of peace. I accept peace. Inviting in the energies of clarity. I accept clarity. Inviting in the energies of grace. I accept grace. I am grace. Acknowledging and receiving love and the power of love, and acknowledging your personal power, and knowing without a doubt that everything you need is within you. So see those codes moving through your energy, moving through your body, feeling these little golden threads of electricity just activating in your system, activating the spirit of your mind, activating the spirit of your body, activating the spirit of your emotions. And your spirit is just like, we remember, we remember, we remember. And we're ready to release, we're ready to transform, and we're ready to complete this spiraling and continue this spiraling of my personal evolution. We say yes to that. So acknowledging yourself, that you are lighter, you are freer, and you are more aligned. And so you can open your eyes and you can bring back your flame or your fire. And just saying thank you. Thank you for your transformational powers. And thank you for renewing me. And thanking it for its assistance in carrying this old spirit to the light. And thank you for awakening my truth. And so you can blow a kiss to your candle if you want. And know that the ceremony is sealed. The ceremony is complete. So you can leave your candle burning for a little bit longer or blow it out. It's up to you. As the thunder is thundering outside as confirmation. I love it. So thank you for showing up for your growth. And it's really important to hold these intentions while we are releasing the things that are no longer serving us, so we can step into alignment with the things that are serving this next version of ourselves that we are creating every day, with the words that we speak, with the thoughts that we think, with the actions that we are moving through, through our life with. So it's all about balance, right? in the mind, in the body. And so whatever you carry out of this space today, like just carry it gently. Just kind of like try it on today. Just be easy with yourself. I say that all the time. And really, we get to know that letting go is a strength. It's something that we get to practice again and again and again as we transform into these next, we're all, some people think that they're like, oh, I just keep coming back to the same space, or it's like the same story. And really it's not a circle sometimes. Like I was telling as I've had conversations with some of you, it's about this spiral upwards, right? So it's just kind of like coming back to some of these same conversations. The conversation might be the same, but we are different. And so we get to navigate life differently. And so it requires inner work. And we get to thank the seasons and the cosmos for adding its energy to allow us to do it. And so that we get to this point where it's just like alignment is so sweet, right? And it's so divine. And we get to have that. So and this is kind of what we do in Elevate too. So it's my Telegram group where I just share the things that kind of come through, whether it's like my guides or just sort of like the general collective stuff. It's just all about activating that higher heart chakra and keeping you in those higher heart chakra harmonics, because there's a lot of ways that we get pulled out of that on a regular basis. And so like if I'm able to pour into you throughout the month, it can be very beneficial to help navigate the heavier things sometimes. So sometimes we just need somebody in your ear, or in my case, like in the pocket, to just remind you who you are and remind you of your power. Because, I mean, we're here to be powerful creator beings, right? So we just get to live in those vibes and remember that. Because we forget, and our human aspect sometimes has human days. And that's okay too. But, onwards and upwards, as I say. So well done, everybody. Well done. And if you feel like you need to listen to this, I'm going to send you guys the replay. But if there's more things that you want to go back through the fire ceremony and clear, I welcome you to that. So fire ceremonies are great any time of year. And we're able to do this since there's just so many with this equinox tomorrow, the solar eclipse today. We've got like a week's worth of energy to play with. So if there's more that you want to release, knock yourself out. There's always more to release as we go along. So
Claritha, thank you for your support. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome, Lynette. It's so great to be able to support you.
God
And thank
bless
you
you.
for being here. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stick around
Bye.
for a couple minutes if anybody has any questions, but I'm going to end the recording. So,
Okay.
oh, thanks
Bye.
for the hearts, Kathy. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.